Today I'm headed into the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia. It has the Blue Ridge Mountains on the east and the Allegheny Mountains on the west, both being part of the Appalachian mountain chain. Our first stop is at Shenandoah Memorial Park in Winchester, Virginia. This is where we'll be finding the final resting place of none other than Patsy Cline. I would say that Patsy Cline was mostly noted as being a country music singer, but her music has also been considered honky-tonk, rockabilly. Some called it the Nashville Sound. She's done some that's been considered pop music as well as gospel. I've already mentioned that I was in the Shenandoah Valley in Virginia, but we'll mention that Winchester, Virginia also had a population of about 27,800, I believe it was, in 2024. So it's not the largest town or city in Virginia, but this is where Patsy Cline was born and would call home for a long period of time. As we came in past the funeral home, we saw the sign that said Patsy Cline Boulevard, and so we turned there, and so saw a lot of flowers up here, and we pretty sure that is Patsy's final resting place. But we parked a little farther down the road because there was another car in the cemetery, and we didn't want to block the road, and thought we'd walk over to it. But I'll get back to the sign and show you a picture of that in just a few minutes after we see the actual gravesite. As we're walking over toward the marker, you'll see some boards here, and it looks like they're either fixing to pave it or brick it or something, a walkway up toward a statue here in the cemetery. So, as you can see, it's going to go all the way up to that statue, it looks like. But we're here to see the gravesite, so onward we go. As we're getting closer to the marker, I will mention that Patsy was born September the 8th, 1932, and she would pass away in a plane crash in Camden, Tennessee on March the 5th, 1963, at the age of 30. And as you can see, there is flags and flowers here, and it looks like quite a bit of coins and different things there on the marker itself too. Well, as we get closer to the marker, you can see that it looks like some moisture on the ground and around it and on the marker itself. And we'll say it did rain yesterday, and it's drizzled a little this morning. We have gray clouds hanging over us now, and hopefully we won't get wet. But I want to mention a few things while you're looking at the marker itself, and that is that Patsy was born with the birth name of Virginia Patterson Hensley. As we're getting a real close look here, I see it looks like a bird has passed over and got her marker a little dirty. Let's see if I can clean it off. Well, all I could find nearby was a couple of damp leaves, and so I used those just to clean it up a little bit because it's starting to sprinkle rain, and I want to say a few things about the marker before I have to maybe go back to the car or comes a downpour or anything. And that is that it does say her stage name on there, which is Patsy Cline, and that's the way the world knows her as. And how she got this stage name, they said, is because they used her middle name, Patterson, to change it into Patsy. And of course, she was married to a Gerald Cline at the time, and she opted to keep her married name. And she kept that married name of her first husband because she didn't change it when she did her second marriage, because she'd already became famous at that time, and she was building up her career, so she didn't do the name change. But on this marker you will see the word Dick, and that is the last name that she had, which was of her second husband, Charles Allen Dick, and he went by the name of Charlie. But it also looks like it goes in with this quote which says, "Death cannot kill what never dies," and love, and then it's got Dick under it. And here on the other side of Patsy's marker is that of her second and husband that she had, and the one she was married to when she passed away, and that is of Charlie Dick. Patsy and Charlie would become the parents of two children, a son and a daughter. And I'm going to go down and show you the sign. It's saying it's the Patsy Cline Boulevard here before the rain gets any harder, since it's already starting to drizzle a little bit more and the wind's picking up. So let's head down toward the sign. You're going to hear a little bit more noise in the background as we're getting closer down toward the main highway here. But I want to say a few things about Patsy's career. She started her career, they said, in 1948 at a local radio station, and in the early 1950s she would appear in a local band that performed on the Connie B. Gay's Town and Country television broadcast. Patsy wasn't the only country music singer that would become famous, that maybe got a good start in their career by being on the Connie B. Gay's Town and Country television broadcast. And some others that performed there was Jimmy Dean, Roy Clark, George Hamilton IV, and Billy Graham. Well, the rain is starting to pick up, so I think I'm going to have to turn around and go back to the car and see if I can park a little closer to get a picture of this sign. Actually, I should have said we went back and got the truck, not the car, and got up closer to the sign. And as you can see, the rain is starting to come down pretty heavy and everything. And show you a picture here of the funeral home. But I really want to see that bell tower, because they say it's dedicated to Patsy Cline. And so we're going to move the truck over one more road a little bit closer, and I found an umbrella in the truck, and I'm going to see if I can walk over there without getting too wet and film it. Hopefully you'll be able to understand my video in between the rain that you hear hitting on top of the umbrella, or let the umbrella tip maybe even take your attention away from what I'm videoing. But it's hard to video with an umbrella in one hand and your camera in the other. As I continue my walk toward the bell tower, I want to mention a little bit more about Patsy's career. And Patsy had, I believe it was 4 singles, might have been 3, but I believe it was 4 singles already, and she had minor success with them. But she finally got the big break, and that was in January of 1957 when she appeared on the Arthur Godfrey Talent Scouts television program, which was a national television show, and she would end up winning that contest for that night on his show. And the song she sang was called Walking After Midnight. And that single then would become her first major hit, both on the country and pop charts. So that's what got her career really launched in a big way. After this, in 1958, Patsy would end up moving to Nashville, Tennessee. And she would start working with a new manager. And the new manager's name was Randy Hughes. And that name may seem very familiar to you. Not only was he Patsy's new manager, but he also was the pilot of the plane that crashed and would take Patsy's life, along with 2 other country music legends, Cowboy Copas and Hawkshaw Hawkins. Another added note about Randy Hughes is that he was the son-in-law to Cowboy Copas. I previously did a recording on the crash site that took the lives of all these people, and if you're interested, you can look in the description box below, and I'll leave the title of that video so you can read more about it. But as you can see, we've gotten underneath the bell tower. It's just raining as hard here as it was out in the open field, because there's not much there to be under. But you can see this one just says in memory of Patsy, and it's got Marilyn Moon on it, and I may have to look up to see who Marilyn Moon was, or if she's anybody that's well known, or just somebody that, you know, helped donate on this. I'm not sure why it has that on it. Let's see if it says the same on this other brick part here. And it doesn't. This one says, this bell tower was erected in memory of Patsy Cline by her many friends and fans. Well, we're going to leave the cemetery now and head on to a house that Patsy Cline lived in for several years with her mother here in Winchester, Virginia, and try to get a tour of it today. Well, we've made it to South Kent Street here in Winchester, Virginia, to take a look at the home where Patsy Cline lived for a while. And hopefully we'll be able to get a tour when we get down here. And as you can see from the houses, they're bigger, older type houses in the area, and the parking is only up and down on each side of the street in front of these houses. And there's a sign telling about it. And I'm going to give you just a little closer look going down the side of the house here to see, show you that it is like a 2-story house, and it is looks fairly large from the outside here. So let's head on to look at the sign now and see what it has to say. The sign says Patsy Cline, country music singer. Patsy Cline, Virginia Patterson Hensley, world famous singer, lived in this house. She was born in Winchester Memorial Hospital on 8 September of 1932. On 21 January of 1957, she won the Arthur Godfrey's Talent Scouts national television show's competition singing Walking After Midnight. In 1961, I Fall to Pieces became a hit. Her iconic Crazy was released a year later. Her haunting voice took her to the top of the charts, and her style and popularity have never waned. She died in an airplane crash on the 5th of March 1963 in Camden, Tennessee. In 1973, she was inducted into the Country Music Hall of Fame. Cline is interred at nearby Shenandoah Memorial Park. Well, it looks like we're in luck. There's an open sign on the post out front, so hopefully we'll get to do the tour of the house today. And as I pass by the door there, it says tour in progress. So we'll just look around outside for a few minutes and see when the next tour starts. And here's got some information that tells you the hours of the house is open, and they have a gift shop and the cost of admission for it. So let's take a look down the side of the house while we're waiting for a tour. And it looks like it's got an old clothesline out back. That really brings back old memories. And there's a bird bath up toward the front of the house, or beside the house, I should say. And I'm sure it wasn't here during Patsy's time, but it's a nice little added touch to the area. As we head back toward the front of the house, I noticed there's a National Historic Landmark sign on the side of the house. And it's talked about the Patsy Cline house, and it says, "This was the family home of singer Patsy Cline. Here she began her career as a performer in 1948 and signed her first recording contract in 1954. Through her recordings and performances, Cline helped create the Nashville sound, a blending of traditional country music with the style and instrumentation used in popular music that broadened the appeal of country music. Her talents, confidence, and independent spirit has inspired generations of female performers that followed her." And the tour is still in progress. And here's just a little welcome sign on by the door. Now I'm going to head across the street to get a better look at the house. Well, you can't miss the house if you're going up and down this street because of the nice sign that they have in front of the house. We're going to take a couple more minutes to look at the house from the outside before my tour starts. And I've decided I'm going to make it a 2-part series so that I can be showing you a lot of the things that's going to be in the house.